it's unfortunate, you know. I mean, it's this situation with mummy. It's
Do you ever feel guilty about, hitting the gym and
not one bit.
when you got other things, maybe I should be doing that?
No, not one bit. Maybe if we started at this point, but because we've worked hard on that, right?
Yeah.
Because we know, hey, this is my gym time. It was a big, when we first got into this, I massively transformed my life. I knew if I got away from the streets, if I went in a better direction, if I started taking responsibility for my health, stopped playing the victim and all this nonsense, then the only plan I had then at that time, coming out of jail, was faith. A faith that there was a better way, right? But remember, I got to a point here, was like, I'm doing well. I'm in a gym. I'm head coach. I've been handpicked to open this brand new gym. I've got demographics from the general public all the way to professional fighters, footballers. Like I'm in the zone. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is, I've got a beautiful family, beautiful wife, and I was like, man, I feel worse than when I fucking started out. I don't get this, and that's where when I come. Firstly to that, where we first met at that event where I rocked up and paid in cash.
Funny enough, you were in a similar tracksuit.
Similar, yeah. Maybe the same tracksuit.
Well, as you've told me off camera, jacksuit.
Jacksuit, yeah. Trying to figure that out really was because...
So yeah, you were saying, basically, before we had a chat about the clothes, you hit this position. Obviously, you got a lot going on with your mum and prioritising yourself. When I first met you, you got off the streets, done really well, and you hit this position where you're like, you felt worse than ever. Why was that?
Well, I started thinking when I was working that hard, I was feeling guilty because I wanted home. When I was at home, I was like, man, I need to be back here.
I think that's the thing, the guilt. That's why I asked you that. I knew you wouldn't really feel guilty about prioritising your well-being, I think. But I think it's a useful thing for us to talk about sometimes, because the guilt people feel in prioritising or looking after ourselves sometimes, that we should be doing other stuff. Something needs doing in the house. The dinner needs doing. Or, I should be, I should be doing something on my business. I'm a bit behind there. Or I should get some extra hours at work. Or I feel bad taking time for myself. We know that attitude, that mindset leads to destruction down the line, 100%. Doesn't it?
I don't know what that is. I know what that tastes like.
So you know that your mum's obviously very unwell, as well as you can get. And I'm seeing you're like organising her care, you being there, family, brothers, but still running your businesses, still really contributing to Unbreakable, looking after you. I was like, whoa, there's a lot going on. Mm-hmm. It's testing your bandwidth, isn't it? No doubt.
Yeah.
But you got, you're working... That time for you is what allows you to do that, isn't it?
And that's the difference between me and you, mate. We ain't just theory. We're in an industry now that's full of theory. When people in the industry, people say, hey, this is how you make 10K, 100 grand a month. And I'm like, mate, you're still living at home with your mum. You're asking if the internet's on and you're trying to give advice about, we've got the scars, we've got the medals, we've got the skills. And that's what's massively helped in this. It was like, I know you said a few times, look, if you need time off, I'm like, this is where I perform at my best, mate. The front line. I am calm and composed in the chaos. I contribute to this because it's also a way of me dropping that level of care.
Keeping some stability as well, I imagine.
And, you imagine the effects, the benefits of me going, I'm going to fully immerse myself in coaching something I love. Some days I've had that much challenge. It's been that difficult. Most people would go, listen, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take the easy route and not show up.